Hi, everybody. Brandon Simmons here with your Friday, May 8th update for digital. I'm filling in for Stephanie Haney today. She's taking some time off, as we all need to do from time to time. But I'm going to give you some of our headlines and help get you caught up on what's going on around Northeast Ohio and around the nation. First off, the biggest announcement came yesterday from Governor Mike DeWine. He said we now know when we're going to open up restaurants and personal services, including barbershops and salons. The day we're looking at is May 15th is a big one. That's a week from today. So let's first start with salons and personal services, barbershops, day spas. May 15th is the date when they'll be able to get back open. However, things will be a little bit different. You'll see them taking extra safety precautions to make sure we all can maintain a healthy environment. You'll also see more social distancing as you go. So for instance, if you go to have a hair appointment or a nail appointment, you may be asked to wait in your car so that there aren't as many people sitting in the waiting areas to keep space between everyone. So you'll see some different things in place to keep us all safe. So make sure you look out for that. But May 15th is the date for that. In terms of restaurants, we're also talking about a May 15th reopening for outdoor dining only. So anybody you know with outdoor dining, like patios, things like that, they'll get going on May 15th. May 21st is the date for indoor dining. Now, again, we heard from some of those advisory board members who were making recommendations to Governor Mike DeWine, and we do know that as we reopen, you'll see some other changes inside of restaurants as well. So in some restaurants, you may see plexiglass between parties. Parties will be limited to 10 people or less to maintain that social distancing. And also, when you show up with your 10 people, you may see that 6-foot distancing between the next party that's near you. So you may see a booth that's empty. Don't think that you can just go sit there, or don't think that they're trying to be mean to you and make you wait. It may be that they're just making you maintain that social distancing. So again, those dates that are important: May 15th for outdoor dining services and also for personal services, and then May 21st for indoor dining at some of your favorite restaurants. Now I want to take a chance and go over some of the latest coronavirus numbers. Of course, we touched on these a little bit yesterday. The total case number is up to 22,131 total cases, and that's an increase of 555 from the day before. And then we have 1,271 deaths, and that's up 46 from the day prior. So again, we want to go over those numbers in totality, but we also want to put it in context and let you know that the number of cases and the number of deaths are both less than the day before that. In terms of a daily increase. So we always talk about how important it is to put things in the context, and we just want to let you know those numbers aren't increasing significantly. So it appears social distancing is working, and I believe that's why Governor Mike DeWine is leaning towards opening up some of these different industries, is because we're starting to see that those numbers plateau, and that's exactly what we were looking for, is flattening that curve. And it looks like right now we're not seeing a significant spike in cases. However, we do know that as testing increases, we may see the number of overall cases increase significantly as well. And speaking of testing, Cuyahoga County has given $5 million to provide 30,000 more coronavirus tests. Now, this is money that's going to be given to help determine if people have coronavirus, not to determine whether or not people have had it in the past. So this is for testing patients who need to find out whether or not they have coronavirus at this moment. So that was announced by Armin Budish this morning at a press conference, that they're going to give another $5 million. And again, Governor Mike DeWine is also warning us throughout the day, throughout yesterday and today, just that the risk is still up. That was his words. So he said this is still a high risk operation. We don't want people going back into the public and just kind of assuming everything is gone and everything's okay because we're starting to see things open back up. He still wants us to take those precautions, wear your masks, wash your hands, and keep that social distancing. So that's very important that we continue to do those things. Now, also some news out of Cuyahoga County. The first youth at the Juvenile Detention Center has tested positive for COVID-19. That was announced just yesterday evening. We did know that there were 2 individuals within the Juvenile Detention Center who were tested. Only one of them came back positive. Throughout this process, staff there have been informed that they should use N95 respirators if they have them available, and also that they should use those ear loop masks as much as possible. Right now, they're continuing to practice social distancing and keeping people kind of in their own quarantined areas, so to speak, and they'll only get escorts to things like restrooms and meals, but they have to cut down on a lot of the other activities where people would have been together. So again, our first positive case at the Cuyahoga County Juvenile Detention Center. Also, some news related to COVID-19. Of course, we got the National Jobs Report today, came out, and it was not good. Not good at all. Jobless rate spiked to 14.7%. That's the highest it's been since the Great Depression. So some serious issues here, obviously, in terms of the economy. In April, it was the highest rate since the Great Depression, and 20.5 million jobs were lost during that month. And those figures obviously show that the economy is almost shattered in a way. So it'll take a long time for us to obviously recover from this. Also, 5 million other people who didn't lose their jobs had their hours reduced. So a lot of people are still hurting from this whole coronavirus pandemic. And we're trying to do as much as we can, obviously, here in the state of Ohio to get people processed. But we do know there have been some setbacks in terms of processing applications here. In Ohio alone, we know that more than 1.1 million people have applied for unemployment over the last 7 weeks. So those are numbers that we haven't done over the last 3 years. So a lot of people trying to get a hold of unemployment. So again, jobless rates not good right now, that jobs report that came out. So hopefully some improvement is on the horizon. Also, to switch gears here, we're going to take you to Brecksville Broadview Heights School District. What happened there is they were having a board meeting via Zoom, which we know a lot of people are using Zoom nowadays as people have to stay inside and stay apart. And they were Zoom bombed. I know we've talked about this in the past. So in this case, someone was able to get inside of that meeting, and they posted child pornography pictures, also just other explicit images that nobody wants to see. So the district did shut down that meeting, of course, and they've also suspended the use of Zoom until further notice. They also say counselors will be made available Friday, which is today, for anyone who would like counseling after witnessing what happened in that event. Now, they say there were more than 100 people on that Zoom call when it happened, from board members to parents, students, teachers. So a lot of people were affected by this. And we always tell you guys, take some serious precautions as you use Zoom. You want to make sure you enable that waiting room feature. Make sure you have a co-host in there who can help monitor what's going on. And also, you never want to share the public link to your Zoom meeting online. You want to make sure that you have that link private, and also make sure your meeting is password protected, so you can do a 6-digit code, and make sure you send that out maybe using a school email system, something like that, where you know who all the recipients are. Again, you don't want to have anything public set up or where anybody can just jump into that meeting, because that's how these Zoom bombing cases happen. So again, Brecksville Broadview Heights School District is the latest victim to Zoom bombing. And again, they're not going to use that platform anymore until they can make sure they can do it safely without having that happen again. Also, to some national news, we're going to take you down to Georgia. 2 men were arrested and charged with the murder and shooting death of that jogger, Ahmaud Arbery, who was 25 years old. Of course, we know that happened a couple months back on February 23rd. He was jogging, and these 2 men, Gregory McMichael, age 64, and Travis McMichael, age 34, they're a father-son duo. They were both arrested and charged because they kind of chased down this jogger, assuming he was suspected of breaking into homes in the area by these 2 men. However, Arbery was simply just jogging and was unarmed at the time when these 2 men gunned him down, and that incident was caught on video. We've seen a lot of celebrities come out and speak out about this incident, calling for justice, calling for change to happen, and we do know again that those 2 men have been arrested and charged with murder, and they have been booked into the Glenn County Jail by the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. So that happened yesterday. I know there are a lot of people who are paying close attention to that story. Again, Arbery was just jogging on February 23rd and was unarmed when those 2 men chased him down. And take you to some lighter news here. Back in Northeast Ohio, I know you guys are stuck inside, but there are some things you can do to kind of try to have some fun. I don't know. We have a web story posted online right now that will let you take a virtual tour of every ride at Cedar Point. We have that up right now on our website. Of course, this year Cedar Point was celebrating 150 years. However, the season hasn't opened or started just yet because of the pandemic. So hopefully it gets open soon and we're able to celebrate. Now, when it does reopen, we heard a couple days back that the CEO of Cedar Fair says there may be some changes to what happens at Cedar Point. There may be some virtual queuing. There may be capacity limits at the theme park where not as many people are allowed in at one time. So those are things they're considering doing. Now, I told everybody yesterday, I'm a fan of virtual queuing. If you're telling me I don't have to wait in line for 2.5 hours, that sounds like a good plan to me. So it's not something I'll be complaining about. But we'll have to see what type of new policies and what kind of approach they enact when the season does finally get started, if at all, this year. Of course, those are industries that we haven't heard much about from Governor Mike DeWine. So those are some of your updates right now for Friday, May 8th, going on this morning. Of course, we have plenty more information on our website, wkyc.com, and also on our social media platforms. If there's anything you're looking for, make sure you head there and stay up to date, and we'll try to give you another update in a few hours from now. And again, on today, we'll hear from Governor Mike DeWine at 2 o'clock with an update, and then on Monday, we know he's expected to give another update at 2 p.m., and that one will involve daycares. I know that's one that people have been paying a lot of attention to, just kind of asking when will those daycares open back up. We hope to have an answer about that on Monday, but again, that's your updates for today, Friday, May 8th, and I hope to see you all later. Have a great day. Enjoy it.